Hello, hello. Welcome to this episode of the Hello, Hello podcast. I am your host, Alyssa Rogers. Look at where we are today. We are in South Hill, Virginia. I believe this is our first South Hill business that we've ever interviewed. Rozier Termite and Pest Control, sitting here with Michael Wallace. Thank you for allowing us to come to this beautiful office.
Of course.
I am so excited to be here. I'm so excited to be in South Hill because we've wanted to do a podcast episode here for quite some time. So thank you for being the first.
Of course.
And you said you just moved into this office about 3 months ago.
We did. We finally got around to moving away from our home office and actually have a nice place right here in the dead center of South Hill.
And when I hear people say they moved from their home office to a storefront in an office space, I hear growth.
Of course, yeah. So we have expanded quite a bit from when we took over the business. It got to the point where we needed another secretary that was full-time other than my wife, who owns the business with me. So we needed a space for them to be able to operate out of.
That is so awesome. And congratulations on the growth that you've had, because we were talking a little bit before recording and talking about how you and your wife took over the business in 2018.
That's right.
And so lots of growth since then. And
it has.
I just want to know, and I want you to tell everyone about kind of how you got into this and how you got to where you are today.
Yeah. So I actually started working for this company when I was 16 years old. This was a summer job. After I worked here during the summers, then I worked here through college. After I finished college, I left for a short period of time. Actually went to work for the South Hill Police Department. Realized that wasn't the best job for me and ended up coming back here and working for a few more years until we were able to purchase the company from my father-in-law.
That's awesome. And so, I mean, this has been kind of your life for a long time then.
Yeah, I've been in the pest control industry since I was 16 years old.
Yeah. And so what had you wanting to get into that?
I honestly
just needed a job?
I needed a summertime paying job. Was all that it was. I never would have expected that this would be what my career would be.
Yeah. And I mean, being able for that to be one of your first jobs and then where you are today, what had you thinking, I think we need to take over this business and become a business owner?
So my wife has always wanted to own this business.
Mm.
She remembers her dad answering the phones when she was a child at home, and this has always been her dream to own this business. I remember that very early on when we first got married, that was a plan that she wanted. And then once I left the police department, it just kind of all fell into place from there.
Oh, that's awesome. And so cool that you two are able to do it together. And I want to talk about that because, you know, I know what it's like to be husband and wife in a business and a growing business with aspirations to make it bigger and better every day. How has that been? How has that journey been since 2018?
So up until recently, everything has just been on a slow, steady growth. It hasn't been very difficult, just because it was just kind of, we weren't pushing it. It was just naturally growing by word of mouth. Here recently, we've started pushing and marketing and advertising a little bit more. So that's caused a little bit, just figuring it out between me and my wife as far as like what we actually want for the business.
Yeah. And so let us know, what are your current goals for the business?
So I mean, right now we really would like to start working our way northward,
Yeah.
towards Richmond and just get a higher customer base. We feel like we have a very good footprint here in South Hill and on out from there, but we would like to start working our way outwards more.
Yeah, I think that's a great goal. And I mean, you say you have 6 technicians out there. Tell us the services that you provide, because I don't know that everyone knows everything that you provide.
Yeah, I mean, I always think it kind of, I just feel like it sounds standard. We do pest control, but there's a lot of people that don't, there's certain specialties that other
Yeah.
companies don't handle. So we handle all of your general insect control. We handle rodent control. We do bed bug control as well. And then we have started branching out into dealing with moisture problems. So
Mm.
now we will go in, we'll encapsulate your crawl space. We can put French drains and sump pumps in your crawl space if they're flooding. We can I also deal with that in basements. And then now we've started doing floor repair as well, like where the moisture has started to rot the floor systems. We've started going in, sistering up floor joists, replacing girders, things like that. We realize there has been a very large lack in that industry around here. Short of your big nationwide companies, there's really nobody else that does that around here any longer.
Wow. And we were talking about the mosquitoes.
Yes.
And tell us about what you're able to do for people when it's mosquito season.
Yeah, so what I always tell everybody is I was always like of the opinion like you couldn't get rid of mosquitoes. They're a
Right.
flying insect. That's just kind of what they are. You just kind of have to live with them. However, we had a technician that worked for us that wanted to do mosquitoes, so we opted to let him kind of head it up. And his first customer was supposed to be my mom. So when you went out to her house, you got ate up with a mosquito so bad it looked like you had poison oak. So I figured that was a good place to start.
Yep.
So he went out, he sprayed the first time, and my mom called me a couple days later. She's like, I don't know what you did. She's like, but it's amazing. She's like, we haven't seen a mosquito since. And that first season, I think she saw 2 mosquitoes the
Wow.
entire season. So from that point on, we have started offering that. Basically, we come in with a fogger, we spray all the bushes, all the shrubs around the entire property, and it is very effective.
And how long does it last?
So it lasts for 1 month.
Mhm.
It is out in the weather and out in the
Right.
elements. So you do have to do that treatment once a month. It usually starts in April and goes through October.
Awesome. I mean, I know so many of you need that. I know I've I have family members that get attacked by these mosquitoes and they're like, "What do we do?" So we'll be calling you
Yeah.
to do that. And so we're in the fall, going to be going into winter. What do people need to be aware of? What do they need to be looking out for? What season is it?
Yeah, so this is where you start getting ready for your rodents. That is
Hmm.
always a big thing this time of year because the weather's getting cold. They're going to start trying to find a warm place to weather the winter. They don't hibernate, they just need somewhere warm to hang out.
Mm.
And typically, your home is great for
Oh
that.
gosh.
It's also time to start closing your vents. If you don't
Yeah.
remember, if you do have a vented crawl space and you don't close your vents, you run the risk of cold air coming in and freezing and bursting pipes.
Oh, yes. And so rodents, what do people need to do to prepare for these rodents that may be getting into their home or how to make sure they're not?
So that really just depends on the home. If you have a newer construction home, just keeping some rodent bait in the crawl space, some rodent bait inside in case they do make their way in is typically sufficient. We do offer rodent exclusion as well. So like if you have an older home that has lots of gaps and cracks that a mouse can get in, we can come help seal those up and help prevent that problem from becoming a problem. Because I don't know if most people know this, but a mouse can actually come through a dime-sized hole. So it doesn't take very much for them to make their way
Don't
into your
tell me
home.
that. I'm going to be going around my home looking for every spot to
Yep.
close up. And so let's just say someone has a rodent problem in their home and they call you. What can they expect when they call?
First you'll call, you'll speak to Brittany here at the
Hmm.
office, and she'll set a time for one of our technicians to come out. That technician will come out, he'll speak with you, find out where you've been having the issues at, and then make a plan based on what he hears from you and what he finds at the home, and then he'll kind of run you through that. If that all sounds good, he'll give you a price, and then he'll go ahead and do service same day. Typically, we put rodent bait inside the house as well as under the house, and then we schedule you a follow-up in 2 weeks to come back out, check on everything, make sure everything's acting like it should, and then typically we'll recommend to get set up on a routine rodent control after that, but that's optional.
Oh, that's awesome. So you do have the routine maintenance and availability of people to come out.
Yes, all of our services are available on a routine maintenance. Most of the time, what we recommend is for rodents is a monthly, but for insects, we typically recommend more like a quarterly quarterly insect control.
Okay. And so I'm seeing a lot. I know we all call them stink bugs, but I'm seeing a lot of them. What are they like really called? Is it stink?
Yeah, they are. So those are one of your seasonal invaders. You're going to
Yeah.
have those a lot in the spring and in the fall.
Okay.
And when those temperatures start going up and down, they're doing the exact same thing as mice are. They're just
Hmm.
trying to find somewhere warm. So when it starts, we have those cool nights, they'll find their way behind your vinyl siding and around your windows. And then when the sun comes out, they start working their way back out again. However, sometimes they get a little turned around and end up inside your home
Yeah.
versus outside your home.
Yeah. And so what do you do to get rid of them?
So really, you're just looking at like a perimeter pest control
Hmm.
treatment. We use chemicals that are micro encapsulated, so they last for 90 days outside. We'll spray around all your windows, all your gaps and cracks, all around the base of the foundation and eaves. And as long as that's done every 90 days, most of those insects aren't going to be able to find their way into those gaps and cracks to be able to make it into your home.
Well, I love that. And we all need to be calling and getting that routine maintenance set up. And I know that we have a lot of moms that listen and they are worried about their kids and what's sprayed in the home. So take us through kind of that.
Yeah, so I'll be honest with you, that is one of my biggest concerns. You can ask my wife. We don't spray our house all that often, which you know how that is.
Yeah.
Um, you know,
When you're in the business, you
the
don't do the
mechanic's
service
car is
on
always
your.
broke down.
Yes, exactly.
But no, so the way we recommend things is quarterly. We come out 3 times a year and we just spray the exterior of your home
Mhm.
because to me, if you, as long as you keep that good outer perimeter treated, the inside won't need to be done as often. Then 1 time a year we do treat inside. We do what's called spot treatment and crack and crevice treatments. We're not going to come in and just drown every insect that's in your home.
Mhm.
We are very cognizant that there are children and families that live there, and so we try to put as minimal insecticide inside the home as possible while still getting good results.
That's awesome. And so, how can everyone, well, first, what is the number one tip you would give to a homeowner right now when it comes to pest control?
I'll be honest with you. It really comes down to just getting you a good quality exterminator,
Yeah.
and it doesn't even have to be me. There are lots of good companies around here, but getting you a good quality one that's just going to take care of and know his chemicals, because there are so many out there. I have homeowners all the time, and some of them close friends of mine.
Hmm.
They go out and they buy what they call an all natural pesticide, and it might be all natural, but
Hmm.
God made lots of things in this world that are still very dangerous and they're
For
very
sure.
natural. So, knowing what to do and where to put those things is very important. And those exterminators have done the research to know where to put it. So that is honestly just the best advice that I can give.
Yeah. And then you talked a lot about moisture and how to, like, how you're helping with moisture in a home. So I want to talk a little bit about that because I think that, many people, and I know me especially until I got into the trades, had no idea what was in the crawl space, had no idea, and the importance of a crawl space for a home and the moisture side of it. So take us through that.
Yeah, so it was a problem that we started running into. When I first got into the business, I noticed it, and then crawl space encapsulations became a thing.
Hmm.
When they first came out, they were typically spray foam, which, if you're in the exterminator industry, we hate spray
Hmm.
foam
Hmm.
completely, and will a lot of times void warranties that we had offered for termite control. So it was at that time that I started looking at different options as to how we could encapsulate a home, but still keep warranties and still do a good job. So everything that we do when we encapsulate a home is completely removable. It's all held up with nails and adhesive and can
Hmm.
all be pulled down. We can do a termite treatment and then put it all back. But what we do is we insulate the foundation walls rather than the floor system and seal off your crawl space as best we can. And then we install a industrial grade dehumidifier in the crawl space. Most crawl spaces have humidity of anywhere from 70 to 90%. Ideal humidity is 50%. So you
Hmm.
can't have any fungal growth as long as you keep that humidity below 50%. However, most crawl spaces are well above that and have lots of fungal growth,
Right.
which can do all kinds of things. Like, obviously, it lowers the quality of the air that you're breathing in, but it also can cause the rot of the floor system as well.
Wow. And so if that has happened, you're able to help with that as well now that you're doing the floor repair.
Yes. Yep. Exactly. So we can go in, replace girders, replace floor joist, encapsulate the crawl space, get it back to where it needs to be.
Yeah. And so I know that these are a lot of services and you have to have a great team to be able to make all of this happen. And so talk a little bit about the team that you've built. And I'm sure you're looking for more
We are. We're
individuals.
actually hiring right now. We're looking for 2 more technicians currently. But no, I have a fantastic team. We've worked very hard for that team. We have technicians that have been with us and then left and then came back. We have
Mhm.
several of those. And we have some technicians that have been with us throughout for the past 5 years or so. Um, and it's a really hard job to find good quality
Right.
employees. I just had a customer this morning. I was out at his house and he told me, he's like, I just want to tell you how impressed I am. He's like, every time your guys come out, He's like, they are very just kind.
Mhm.
He's like, they genuinely care about what they're doing. And that means a lot. And that's what I want. That's what I want, good, godly men that work for me and that treat everybody as human beings.
Absolutely. And it sounds like you're doing an awesome job building that team. And kind of what are the qualifications that you look for in a technician outside of being kind and godly and just all around a good person? What do they need to know to come
So
in?
we don't require them to know anything. Of course, it's always fantastic to hire somebody licensed that we can just teach them our
Sure.
ways and get them out on their own after a couple of weeks. But honestly, a good driving record and a driver's license is all we require, and willingness to learn.
Yeah.
Of course, you can't be afraid of tight spaces and afraid of some hard work, but that is literally the only requirements we have.
Yeah. I say that all the time when we're doing interviews for technicians and other individuals on the team. Like, we're looking for good people. We want good people on our team. We can
Yeah,
teach skill all day long, but are you a good person?
right.
And so it
Yeah,
sounds
you
like
can't
that's what
teach
you
that.
exactly. And so it looks like you're the same way. And you know, when when you think of pest control, like, what are some of the crazy things that you see? Because I think, and when I say crazy, I don't mean that in a bad way at all, because there are situations that happen in homes that no one wants
Oh,
to
we've
happen.
seen all kinds of things over the years. I ran into a skunk under a house. That's never a good thing to,
Oh,
you come out of there real fast when you see that. Um,
what do you do when you see that?
typically we recommend like trapping the skunk. So we will do that if asked. We don't necessarily prefer to trap skunks, but we will do it if
Yeah.
necessary. We've ran into, finding dead animals inside of walls that we just
Mhm.
couldn't figure out like exactly what the problem was. It's just, you name it. I
Mhm.
remember my father-in-law, he said it was about a 50-pound bag of dog food stored in between two studs of a wall that a
What?
mouse had stored
Oh,
over the winter, and then they had gotten, I think it was grain beetles had gotten into the dog
what?
food in the wall, and it was this huge amount of dog food that some mouse had stored in there. So when they pulled the wall down, they
That
found
mouse
all
was
the dog.
busy.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my gosh, you see, I mean, I just think it would be a fascinating career to get
It
into.
is. It is a very fun job. It can have its hard days,
Sure.
but I'll be honest with you, I never would have thought that I would enjoy it as much as I do.
Yeah. And I mean, to be able to help people because like the dog food situation, the homeowner did not expect that to
No.
happen. And it's, and then you're like, oh my gosh, this is happening. How did this happen? And so for you guys to come in and save the day, that's must be so rewarding.
It is. It can have some very rewarding days when you can figure out those problems and fix that for the customer.
Yeah. And so how can people get in touch with you?
So the best way, I always tell people, just give us a call. We are a older style company. We like to speak to you.
Mm,
Our phone number is 434-447-8953. And like I said, when you call, you'll speak with Brittany. I'd always tell everybody, you call this time of year, we're not real busy. We're starting to slow down for the season. However, if you call in the summer, she is probably on the other line.
yeah.
Leave a message. We always call everybody back same day.
Absolutely. And I mean, you want to call Brittany because we got to meet her when we walked in today. Super friendly. You want to talk to her. So give them a call and schedule your maintenance and schedule all the services. I'm super interested in the encapsulation of the crawl spaces and the moisture barriers and everything that they're doing. The mosquitoes, and we got to be looking out for rodents because it's that time of year. So make sure you get your home ready and call Rozier Termite and Pest Control.
Absolutely.
And I know that they're going to help you out. And you do serve a wide radius,
We do.
correct?
We do.
So if you're in South Boston, give them a call. If you're in Danville, give them a call. South Hill, give them a call. And they'll be able to help you. And you're going to get a professional pest control company that is really going to serve your needs for the long run. I can't wait to see the growth
Of course.
that you
Yeah, I'm
continue to
excited to see it
have.
as well.
Yeah, in this office. And I think that's always a huge step to, branch out into an office space. And it can be stressful at times, like, oh my gosh, are we doing the right thing? But I know you are. And I can't wait to see the growth that happens
Yeah,
after
we
that.
can't either.
Thanks for letting me come here today and allowing everyone to get to know you. And I just appreciate everyone watching and listening to this episode of Hello, Hello. Continue rating, reviewing, subscribing, and letting us know who you want to see next. And, share your favorite favorite thing that we talked about in this episode, and I want to hear from you. So I hope you have a great rest of your week, and we will talk to you next week. Bye.